All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever wished you had a digital assistant that could, do more than just spit out answers? I'm talking about one that could actually do things for you online, kind of like a digital coworker. Well, guess what? That tech is here. They're called AI agents, and in this explainer, we're going to break down how literally anyone, yep, you included, can get their hands dirty and start using them. So let's do this.
So here's the game plan for today. First, we'll cover what these AI agents are and why they're such a big deal. Then, we're going to peek under the hood to see how they actually tick. We'll watch one in action, and then we'll get to the best part, how you can get started. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about building this future the right way, safely.
Okay, first things first. We are in the middle of a huge shift in what we even mean by automation. Seriously, this isn't just about scheduling an email anymore. We're talking about handing off really complex digital tasks to a brand new kind of workforce.
And this quote right here just nails it. We've all talked to a chatbot, right? But this is a totally different ballgame. We are moving into a world of systems that can think, plan, and actually take action to get things done. They're becoming real partners in our day-to-day digital lives.
So what is an AI agent really? The official definition is up here, but let's just talk about it like normal people. Perceives inputs, that just means it can see what's on a web page or read from a file. Reasons over goals, that's the thinking part. It can actually plan out the steps to get something done. And then acts by invoking tools. This is the magic. It can click buttons, fill out forms, use an API. It actually does the work. It's this simple loop, right? Perceive, think, and then act. Over and over again.
That all sounds amazing in theory, but how does it work in practice? Let's pull back the curtain a bit and look at the actual tools and, the rules of the road that are making all this possible for everybody, not just giant tech companies.
Look, if you tried to build one of these agents from the ground up, it would be a nightmare. It's incredibly complex. But thankfully, we have these things called frameworks. The best way to think about them is like scaffolding on a building. They give you the basic structure and handle all the tedious boilerplate stuff, which lets developers focus on what actually matters. It's a huge reason this tech is exploding right now.
And there are some fantastic open source frameworks you can use today. LangChain is kind of like a giant box of Legos. It's super modular and has a massive community building new pieces for it all the time. Then there's AutoGen from Microsoft, which is built for creating whole teams of agents that can work together on really complicated problems. And I really like Crew AI. It makes it super easy to give agents specific jobs, like you have a researcher agent and a writer agent, and they collaborate just like a real team.
But wait, how do all these different AIs and tools and agents actually talk to each other without it being a total mess? Well, that's where something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, comes in. Just think of it as the USB-C for AI. It's a universal standard, a common plug that lets any agent connect to any tool or any data source. It's a total game changer for making this whole ecosystem work together.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's make this concrete. One of the coolest and easiest ways to see agents in action is to watch them automate stuff we all do every day, right inside a web browser.
Okay, check this out. You just say something simple, in plain English, like find and book a direct flight to NYC for next Tuesday. The agent gets it, it opens a browser, it goes to the airline websites, it fills out all those annoying forms with your info, and then, and this is super important, it comes back to you with the best option and waits for you to say yes before it actually buys anything. It takes care of all the boring steps so you can just focus on the final decision.
All right, this is probably why you're here. How can you start using AI agents like right now? The awesome news is that there are different paths for everyone, whether you've never written a line of code in your life or you're a seasoned developer. So let's break down 3 ways you can jump in.
Path number 1 is for the Explorer. This is for anyone who wants to start immediately with zero code. We're talking about simple browser extensions. You can look up tools like NanoBrowser or Automa. You install one and boom, you have a little agent living in your toolbar. It's perfect for those repetitive tasks, like scraping data off a website into a spreadsheet or filling out the same tedious form over and over again.
Now, path 2 is for the hiker. This is for folks who are comfortable with a little bit of code, like Python. Here, you'd use open source libraries like Browser Use. And what's so cool about this is you're not writing crazy complex scripts. You're just telling the agent what to do in plain English. Things like click the submit button or find all the prices on the page. You get way more power and flexibility. And since it's open source, you're not tied to any one company's system.
And finally, we have the Mountaineer path. This is for people who want to build on the absolute cutting edge. This is all about making your own MCP apps. Now, these aren't just agents that use tools, you're building the tools that other agents can use right inside a chat. So you could ask an AI a question, and it could show you back an interactive map or a live data dashboard. And the wildest part? You can actually ask an AI coding agent to get you started. You are literally using an AI to build a tool for other AIs. How cool is that?
So we have these incredibly powerful ways to get started. But before we all run off and start building, we have to talk about doing this stuff responsibly. It's not just about what's cool, it's about what's safe. So let's go over a few essential rules of the trail.
Yeah, we all know the saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And believe me, when you give an autonomous piece of software the ability to browse the web for you, or change data, or spend your money, that responsibility is very, very real.
So before you let one of these things loose, you absolutely have to think like a pro. Here's a quick checklist. First, and this is a big one, always have a human in the loop for the important stuff. You do not want an agent buying things or deleting files without you giving the final okay. Next, you gotta have health checks so you know it's not going off the rails. And please secure your secrets, passwords, API keys. They go in an encrypted vault, not just sitting in your code. Also, keep your playground separate from the real world, so a dev environment that's totally isolated from your live production stuff. And finally, for the love of all that is holy, watch your costs. A runaway agent can burn through your API credits faster than you can blink. Seriously.
And there you have it. From a simple click in your browser to building brand new apps, the power to create your own digital coworkers is here, and it's more accessible than it has ever been. So the only real question left is, what's the first digital chore you're going to teach your new agent to do for you?